From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
Indianapolis playing a key role as we take a major step forward in the fight against the pandemic. Now at 4:30, we're taking a look inside the FedEx hub responsible for storing the vaccines. Plus, vaccines are ready for distribution, but you may not be ready to roll up your sleeves just yet. Working for you this morning, we're answering some questions that you may have about how it works and the potential side effects. And an effort is underway right now to help businesses in Speedway this holiday season. How you can show your support for those local businesses. But first, let's check in right now with meteorologist Todd Clausen, who is back from vacation. Check him out. He is relaxed, he is rested, he is home this morning. Todd, good morning to you. Our Lauren Casey's off today.
And Raphael, look, just for you, I've added a little Christmas display behind me here
look at that.
In the corner. You're always so festive with what you have going on at your house. I had a little bit of extra time at the tail end of vacation, so I thought I'd add a little festivity here to the home studio in the basement in Indianapolis. We're getting off to a cool start here this morning. Lots of clouds around as well here in central Indiana this morning. And these clouds are going to be really, really stubborn to depart the area. We're at 35 right now in Indy, 37 in Bloomington. 32 is the current temperature in Lafayette as well as the Peru area. Factor in the wind, which isn't super strong, but it's enough to put wind chill values down into the 20s here in Lafayette as well as Peru at 21, 25 in Tipton. Feels like 26 currently here in Indianapolis. The clouds are around this morning. We're just missing out on a big storm system down to our south. That will not impact us. The trend today will be for the clouds to decrease, but you have to be really, really patient. It's not going to really happen until this afternoon. So morning clouds, some afternoon sunshine with high temperatures eventually, once we get into that sunshine, Raphael, climbing up into the low to mid 30s.
TK, welcome back. And I do love that Christmas tree. It is an early start for your morning commute as we take a live look this morning at your WRTV Traffic Now camera. As you can see, really little traffic there. This is I-65 at 30th Street north of downtown. Traffic is quiet, no accidents or delay to begin on this Monday morning. Some are calling it the light at the end of the tunnel. COVID-19 vaccinations are set to start in some parts of the country as early as today. Dr. Robert Redfield, the director of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, accepted a CDC panel's recommendation of the country's first COVID-19 vaccine. This after the FDA granted emergency use of Pfizer's vaccine. Now 2.9 million doses are headed to 636 locations across all 50 states.
I couldn't be more confident in the distribution of the vaccine. We've worked incredibly hard over many months doing test shipments, improving our shippers, making sure that they can maintain temperature during the entire journey. And we're very happy with the solution.
The U.S. plans to distribute 14 million doses of the vaccine this month alone, with tens of millions more going out at the beginning of 2021. Let's take you here, because here in the Hoosier State, the FedEx hub in Indianapolis is playing a key role in vaccine storage as well as vaccine distribution. The facility is responsible for storing vaccines in freezers and making sure that COVID-19 vaccines make it to their destinations. The company says it is more than prepared to handle the shipments, and it's working closely with federal, state, and local governments on the safe and swift transport of those vaccines.
This may be our finest hour, and I'm just so deeply proud of the role our team members have played in the fight against this pandemic to date. These vaccine manufacturers and the distributors, they're already our customers. We know them, we know their business. So the government came to us because they know we have the expertise in this. They know we have the network and the capabilities and the know-how to do it.
Indiana expecting to get more than 55,000 doses of Pfizer's vaccine. Hospitals will be a part of the initial rollout, including Indiana University Health Methodist Hospital in downtown Indianapolis. Doses will be first given to those healthcare workers and residents of long-term care facilities. In southern Indiana, Foam Fabricators is ramping up production of the special coolers needed to store and distribute COVID-19 vaccines. Staffing has increased by 20% at its New Albany plant there in southern Indiana. Foam Fabricators says it is currently the only company in the country, making the type of coolers that will be used for the COVID-19 vaccines. Right now, there's a major hiring effort underway by CVS to help with massive COVID-19 vaccination efforts. The company wants to hire about 700 licensed pharmacy techs in Indiana by the end of this year. A CVS spokesperson says the added staff will play a critical role in the eventual retail vaccination efforts that will get underway. A pharmacy techs will also help with COVID-19 testing. For more information about this opportunity, go to our website, hiringhoosiers.com. With Pfizer's vaccine being distributed and Moderna's vaccine facing approval sometime within the next few weeks, you may have some questions about exactly what is in these vaccines and what we don't know about the vaccines. Britt Conway rounds up a few frequently asked questions with the experts.
The vaccine is rolling out, and millions will be rolling up their sleeves. Still have some questions? Well, that's where these two come in. Dr. Leanna Nguyen, ER physician and former Baltimore Health Commissioner, and Dr. Carlos Del Rio, Executive Associate Dean at Emory University School of Medicine. So what exactly does this vaccine do?
It reduces severe illness and symptomatic illness. It has not yet been shown to reduce transmission and spread of coronavirus.
Are there side effects?
Side effects are normal, they are expected, and they actually show that the vaccine is working.
Okay, what are they?
There are two general types of side effects. One is pain, swelling, redness at the injection site itself. And then the other is kind of flu-like symptoms, body aches, fevers, headache, fatigue.
What about people the vaccine hasn't been tested on? Kids, anyone pregnant or breastfeeding, people who have problems with their immune system, and people with certain allergies.
By the time individuals like that are ready to be vaccinated, we'll probably have at least some preliminary data.
If multiple vaccines become available, which one should I take?
I would take whatever comes first.
Finally, when could things get back to some kind of normal?
Definitely not this winter. Probably it will be until late spring, early summer. There is light at the end of the tunnel, but we still have to get through this tunnel.
I'm Britt Conway reporting.
And new overnight, President Trump says White House staffers will not be getting the vaccine first. Initially, it was said that senior White House officials would get the vaccine ahead of the public. But late Sunday night, President Trump tweeted, quote, people working in the White House should receive the vaccine somewhat later in the program, unless specifically necessary. Mr. Trump also said he is not scheduled to get that vaccine, but will do so at the appropriate time. White House officials have tested positive for COVID-19 during the pandemic, as you may recall, including the president, who spent a few days in the hospital. It's only Monday, but people can't wait until Friday here in Indiana. The old Oak and Bucket game between IU and Purdue is back on. Last week, the universities announced that they had mutually agreed to cancel the rivalry game due to the rising COVID-19 cases at both schools. But on Sunday, they announced the game has now been rescheduled for this Friday, December the 18th at 7:30 p.m. It will be played at Memorial Stadium in Bloomington. The game is part of championship weekend. The pandemic is forcing the Indianapolis Public Library to make more changes once again. So beginning next Monday, December the 21st, the library will limit in-person services to curbside pickup. There will be a limited walk-in use of computers, printers, and scanners. That will be on a first-come, first-served basis with 1-hour time limits. The changes are expected to be in effect through at least mid-January. And this morning, the Walmart in Beech Grove here in Marion County is set to reopen at 7. The store closed on Saturday for 2 days of some deep cleaning. The Village Park Walmart in Carmel in Hamilton County also closed, but reopened Sunday morning. Walmart says the cleaning and sanitizing is part of their mission to keep employees and customers safe during the pandemic. An effort is now underway this holiday season to bring business back to Speedway. The town's Chamber of Commerce created a campaign to make up for lost time and, of course, lost money there on the city's west side. During the 12 days of Speedway, businesses are offering special deals and working together to encourage people to shop local. We visited Three Sisters and a Trunk on Main Street. The owner of the boutique says she is making just enough to get by and is hopeful for the year 2021. But she knows that many business owners are facing major challenges in their efforts to remain open.
I really feel for the younger ones that's got a family, they got children and junior high, high school, they got car payments and mortgage payments, and they're running their own business. It is really difficult. And if you can think of those people, and if they have anything at all, go support them. Go eat in their restaurants, have their mechanics fix your car, whatever you can do, because we all are in this together.
So you heard Ms. Hall, let's spend money locally. Another business taking part in 12 Days of Speedway is the Courtyard by Marriott on Crawfordsville Road. The director of sales says Christmas is typically a slower time for the hotel industry, but he hopes providing a lower rate as part of the campaign will encourage people to visit.
Speedway is a small town within a big city, and we are just like the downtown restaurants and everywhere else, that we need that business just to sustain all the people that we have working for us. You know, restaurants, we're not the only ones hurt in the service industry, and you've got we have housekeepers that clean those rooms to keep the business people coming in and doing what they have to do and keeping it open. And we want to work with all the establishments that are within the 12 or doing the 12 days of Christmas, because you know, if we're in it, they're in it, we're in it together.
So keep this in mind. The 12 Days of Speedway Christmas campaign runs all the way through Christmas Eve. Right now on the WRTV News app, we have a story up connecting you to all the businesses participating. Don't forget to shop local throughout central Indiana. Another step forward, President-elect Joe Biden's transition to the White House. Straight ahead, details on the Electoral College vote and what's up next in that key process. Mayor Pete could be D.C. bound. Details on the position he's now being considered for. But first, on this Monday morning, let's check in with the one and only Todd Clausen. Hey, TK.
Hey, Raphael, it's pretty quiet this morning all across central Indiana. We're just missing out on a big storm system that is down to our south. That's heading towards the northeast, but we do have some snow in our extended forecast. We'll let you know when it arrives and how much we think we can see here across central Indiana coming up when Good Morning Indiana continues right here on WRTV.
Welcome back. The time now is 4:45. The violence across the Circle City this weekend with at least 18 people shot, one fatally. The deadly shooting happened around 3 on Sunday morning. Officers called to the 3500 block of North Arlington Avenue on the report of shots fired. Around the same time, officers received another call of a walk-in person shot at Community East Hospital. The victim from Arlington Avenue was transported to an area hospital last listed in stable condition. The walk-in victim was pronounced dead by medical staff at Community East. Investigators are trying to determine if both victims were shot at the Arlington Avenue location. No suspect or victim information has been released just yet. In northeastern Indiana, a police officer is recovering after being injured in a shooting. Now, this happened early Sunday morning in a neighborhood in Huntington. Indiana State Police say gunfire erupted as police pursued a man who was damaging property. A Huntington police officer and the suspect were both hit by bullets. The officer was taken to a Fort Wayne hospital with serious but non-life-threatening injuries. The suspect was pronounced dead at the scene. That incident is currently under investigation. A new initiative aimed at making the Circle City a more welcoming place for people with autism has now been endorsed by the City County Council. The Indy Autism Project was approved last week. Now, this calls for providing training for police, bus drivers, and other city employees. That training will be done in partnership with the International Board of Credentialing and Continuing Education Standards. The board will also work with the Indy Chamber and the non-for-profit Easter Seals to bring training and accreditation for employers in the city, showing them best hiring practices for people on the spectrum. Visit Indy says it will also work with the hospitality and the tourism industry to make certain that locations and events are sensory friendly. Now, Indianapolis is the second city in the country to become autism certified by this credentialing board. This morning, Indiana's 11 electors will join with the other 538 members of the Electoral College to cast their vote for President and Vice President of the United States. This political process generally, as you know, receives very little media attention, but because President Trump hasn't conceded, the Electoral College is under more scrutiny than ever before this year. President Trump and his allies have lost nearly 50 cases in court claiming voter fraud, and the Supreme Court refused to hear a Texas lawsuit that challenged votes in 4 battleground states. At 10 this morning, The Electoral College will cast their vote in their respective state legislatures. After today, the process goes to Congress, where they will officially certify the Electoral College votes on January the 6th. Vice President Mike Pence will preside over that critical vote. Former South Bend mayor and Democratic presidential candidate Pete Buttigieg could have a role in President-elect Joe Biden's administration. Multiple sources say that Buttigieg is a leading contender for transportation secretary, but it's not a done deal, as Mr. Biden is reportedly considering other candidates. They include former Chicago Mayor Rahm Emanuel, Los Angeles Mayor Eric Garcetti, and Rhode Island Governor Gina Raimondo. Buttigieg has also been considered for other positions within the administration, including Secretary of Veteran Affairs as well as Commerce Secretary. Now, if chosen and confirmed for a cabinet position, he would be the first LGBTQ cabinet secretary to be approved by the Senate. Another successful launch for SpaceX, the Falcon 9 rocket. It launched a Sirius XM satellite from Florida's Cape Canaveral Space Force Station on Sunday. Check it out. Always a beautiful sight. The launch was the company's 25th of this year. SpaceX is contracted to launch another satellite for Sirius XM next year. Now, each satellite has an operational lifetime of 15 years and will replace 2 aging satellites already in orbit. SpaceX has one more launch on schedule for this year. A Falcon 9 rocket is set to blast off from NASA's Kennedy Space Center on Thursday. It will be carrying a classified payload for the National Reconnaissance Office, the U.S. government's spy satellite agency. Always a great sight to see when there's a liftoff there. The Hubble Space Telescope turned 30 years old this year, and to celebrate that, NASA is releasing 30 never-before-seen images of the wonders of space. Check that out. That is beautiful. They show galaxies and star clusters, all of which are visible from a home telescope. Some are even visible with binoculars or the naked eye. They're part of a collection called the Caldwell Catalog. The Hubble Space Telescope has been capturing some dazzling images like these since it was launched back in space in April of 1990. Check that out. But first, we're going to check out our Todd Clausen, who is back from vacation. You look nice and calm and cool, and I love the Charlie Brown Christmas tree behind you now.
Yeah, you know, my mom gave me that Christmas tree, Raphael, when I first moved to Indianapolis back in 2007, so I didn't have to get a big one, and here it is. I still have it, so now it's part of the basement studio here at WRTV, and that the tree skirt's hers too, with the snowman on it. She passed that along, so glad to have a little festivity here in the studio. As far as the forecast today, unfortunately, I wish I could tell you it was going to be this big, bright, and sunny day for us. Unfortunately, it's not going to be the case. I think we may get into some sunshine later on this afternoon, but we're definitely starting off with lots of clouds. It's a start very similar to yesterday that we dealt with the clouds throughout the entire day. As you look there just past the Capitol building off to the southwest side of town. 35 in Indy right now, but look at that feels like temperature. 26, and that's courtesy of that wind that's out of the northwest at 15 miles per hour. And it's going to be a pretty breezy day for us all across the area. That wind's really not going to subside throughout the day today. So what you walk out the door to this morning is kind of what you get later on this afternoon as well. 32 in Peru right now, 37 in Bloomington, 35 is the current temperature in Greenfield, and Greencastle's at 34. You factor in that wind, and wind chill values are in the 20s anywhere you go. I know you see some 30s on your screen. Those reporting stations, though, don't kick in the wind chill values until later on in the morning hours. So you really just got to bundle up this morning anywhere you are all across the area. The clouds are in place. Pretty big storm system just to our south with some heavy rainfall there in eastern portions of Kentucky and West Virginia. But we will not see any precipitation throughout the day today, and the overall trend for today will be for the clouds to decrease. So we start off with lots of clouds. By this afternoon, the clouds thin a little bit. But even with the clouds thinning, temperatures really don't rebound a whole lot. We've probably already hit our high for the day today, and then we'll get back up into the low 30s later on this afternoon. This evening, though, once the sun sets, the skies will start to clear out. Sunset is at 5:21 here this evening, and temperatures will be in the 20s most likely once again by the time we get to 7, 8 o'clock. So you definitely need to have the heavier coat handy throughout the entire day today, and as you wake up tomorrow morning, you're looking at temperatures that are going to be in the low to mid 20s. It's a very cold start to our day tomorrow. But overall, it's going to turn out to be a decent day. We'll see temperatures eventually get up to partly cloudy skies across the area with highs that will be in the low 30s. Now, there's a bigger storm system that's going to bring a lot of snow to the East Coast as we get into the day on Wednesday. We are just on the western fringe of that system. There could be some snow showers Wednesday morning across southern portions of the area. That could lead to a few slick spots, but it is not a big snowmaker for central Indiana. And then as we get throughout the rest of the week, back up to 40 degrees by Friday. Another rain snow mixture possible on Saturday. But low temperatures there, Raphael. Very chilly this week, in the 20s most mornings until we get to the weekend.
December is settling in. Todd, thank you so much as we take a look at your morning commute right here on WRTV. This is a live look at I-65 at 30th Street. As you can see, all is moving well here at this part of the city as well as throughout the interstate system. We'll keep an eye on your traffic this morning right here on WRTV. A 104-year-old man from Colombia is proving that whatever you're old, you're never too old to keep on learning. Lucio Chiquito recently submitted his doctoral thesis at 104 years old. The engineering student graduated from the University of Manchester 77 years ago. He wrote his thesis during quarantine. He says he may have found a solution to a problem with river flow, something he's been studying now for over 30 years. Lucio has had a successful career and is the co-founder of Colombia's largest energy company. He attributes his longevity to being an avid reader, his being spiritual, his diet, his frequent exercise, his steadfast persistence, and his discipline. I just can't get over the fact that at 104 years old, he is still going. Todd Clausen, and on a day like today, we could all go for a walk with Lucio, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Just got to bundle up a little bit, but you don't have to worry about any precipitation. That is the good news here, Raphael. But as you look at your 7-day planning forecast, you will see that there is some precipitation down the road. Wednesday morning, we'll have to keep an eye on the potential for some snow showers. Nothing major, but the timing might not be all that great with the morning commute, and it's only for some areas. And then again on Saturday, a rain snow mixture is a possibility. Otherwise, today, slowly decreasing cloud cover, 35 degrees. Tomorrow, partly sunny, right around 35 as well. All these temperatures running at or just a little bit below normal for this time of year. We'll dive into the forecast in more detail for you coming up as we start the 5 o'clock hour right here on Good Morning Indiana. Stay with us. We're back in just a couple minutes.